Is it working? Is it working? Oh, right. Oh, God. Is it working? Because you have to go back up here and then go tweet. Oh, right. Oh, God. Is it working? Because you have to go back up here and then go tweet. Oh, right. Oh, God. Is it working? Because you have to go back up here and then go tweet. Oh, right. Oh, God. Is it working? Because you have to go. What did not show up? Do you see it at all? And it is. Oh, weirdly, it's not showing up on the actual thing itself. Oh, there we go. It is. No, that's an old one.
This one's glitched out on your computer.
Hmm?
This one's. Oh wait, no, it's not. That just glitched out. It just there's a repeating thing.
I'm actually so on the side of your game. Do you see the?
I'm getting lost connection trying to reconnect. Let me try again.
Oh yeah, I see. I guess.
You got it? Try actually clicking it though.
It's still actually weirdly. I tried it. I just wanted to delete so it doesn't have all the crap of the prior things.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still seeing all the crap of the prior things.
Do you want me to try to delete it?
Yeah, I'm trying to. But weirdly on this, it says it's gone. But when I look at it myself, okay, no, now it's mostly gone.
The only one I can see is Diablo. So there's one extra one. But the account has nothing else.
Weird. Like if you look at this one, it's doesn't actually show anything. Am I missing something? Like I actually don't use the web interface, but this is a iPad interface.
There might be a bit of latency because I can only see 2 tweets. Let me try again.
Yeah, I can see 2 tweets too. But I'm trying to get rid of one of them, basically.
Justin just sent the credentials. If you want, I can try to, or you can try to log in.
Sure, yeah, go ahead.
Do you want me to just do it?
Yeah.
If you want to look again, I just tried to delete it.
Oh, yeah. I think there's something broken with the web interface where I'm missing something. You can see this. Yeah, that seems to be good. So this is just showing the current stream?
Yep.
Okay, so it's working basically. Cool. Let's see, how did we see the thing before? I guess we were able to see it on this thing before. But I guess I can just look at my phone. No, like, I know, it's like, what the heck is going on? It's a bunch of like, let's get started bullshit, but no wonder, if, you know, it's we're able to see it on this thing before. Okay, cool. I guess I can just look at my phone.
What in the heck?
No, like, I know, it's like, what the heck is going on? It's a bunch of like, let's get started bullshit.
You see your own phone.
Exactly. This is, I'm like, am I missing something? It's like, is there, what's the trick?
Okay, hang on. There might be one trick. Let me try this.
Exactly. This is, no, I'm like, am I missing something? It's like, is there, what's the trick?
DM myself.
You can DM from one account to another. I only have 2 accounts, my Elon Musk account and Baby Smurf 9000 for testing new stuff. Alright, let's see. I hope you can hear me. Hi guys. Is audio coming through okay? Cool. Alright, let's see if this works. I'll try out it with something simple. We'll start off with we'll start off with a 69 dungeon. This should be fairly easy-ish. Hey guys. Haha, cool. Mic check is good. Alright, I can see your comments. So haha, cool. Alright, so here I am playing Diablo. I have like a candle over there for atmosphere. I have some candles here too, but they're hard to see. And there's a giant candle behind me. Alright. So, let's see. So I'll show you what this build looks like. Now some of the stuff's going to be like super obvious to gamers and like super complicated to if you're not a gamer. But this is my character layout. So I'm playing a druid, and this is I started off playing a Werebear pulverized druid, but that actually that worked well up till about like tier 70-ish dungeons. Then to really be okay beyond that, I switched to werewolf. So like werewolf, their castle. Yeah. Anyway, that's a line from Young Frankenstein. So I'm a in this case a werewolf druid, and it's pretty late right now, so I'm not gonna do a high tier dungeon because I'm too tired to do that right now. So this is just like a level 69 dungeon, tier 69. So just to give some background for those who have no idea what the heck this is. This is Diablo 4. This is the main game, so it's not the seasonal. That means it doesn't have like these things like called malignant hearts, which amplify damage. So when I'm a little bit more rested, I will do a tier 100 dungeon solo without using an ultimate skill. So I'll show you what my skill tree looks like. So this is Claw is the main attack. The Claw is able to use a Storm Strike because I have this Grey Staff of the Crone, which allows Claw to be a Storm Strike. So if I attack as a werewolf, that is actually also a Lightning Strike. Lightning Strike, when combined with Nature's Fury, triggers cooldowns of the non-ultimate skills. Basically, I can cast the spells faster. And then I have something called Nature's Fury, which has a 30% chance of casting the opposite kind of spell. So if I cast a storm spell, has a 30% chance to trigger a free skill of the other type. And then I'm using, in this case, the secondary attack of Bulwark. Bulwark is normally a shield spell. It has a secondary modifier, which is shrapnel. So this is my main power attack. So I use Claw to reset the cooldown on Earthen Bulwark, so I can basically use what is supposed to be a shield as basically a weapon. And then I have Poison Creeper. So the interesting thing about Poison Creeper is actually also the critical strike chance is increased by 20%. This is actually the reason to have Poison Creeper. That the damage done by it is not that high, but it immobilizes and poisons the monsters. But really, what matters is increasing the critical strike chance by 20%. Then you got Bloodhowl for increasing your attack speed, and I've got an legendary aspect, which gives you 9.5% critical strike chance. The game designers here obviously love critical strike. One of the mistakes I made initially with the build was doing a pulverized build focused on overpower, and that actually is not nearly as good as a critical strike build. So I'm basically doing a bunch of things to this will heal, increase attack speed, and also with that legendary aspect, give roughly 10% increase of critical chance. The Cyclone Armor, actually, I'm also using Cyclone Armor based on its modifier, not its primary. Cyclone Armor is also supposed to be a defense, but I'm using it as an offense here, primarily in order to slow enemies and knock them back and make them vulnerable. And then Hurricane. Hurricane at rank 5 does a decent amount of damage, but actually, again, the modifier is the more important thing, which is to slow enemies down by normally 2 seconds, but I have a modifier for crowd control on my hat, which is giving me roughly 10% increased crowd control duration. So an extra roughly 0.2 seconds actually matters in this situation. And then another modifier to reduce the damage dealt by enemies that are affected by hurricane damage. So just to go through the primary equipment layout. The hat gives you increase in max life, some life on kill, but most importantly, 6.6% increase in total armor, and a damage reduction gain when I'm shapeshifted into werewolf. The armor is also chest armor is also giving me a damage reduction against distant enemy. Overall, 9% damage reduction. Dexterity, which improves the critical strike chance again, and 4 ranks of the Earthen Bulwark. So I'm at 9 ranks of Earthen Bulwark. I actually have other equipment that'll enable me to get to rank 15 in Earthen Bulwark, but that doesn't really seem to matter. And then these are the gloves. Most important on the gloves is the increase in attack speed. The faster I can attack, the faster I can reset my spells, basically. And reset cooldowns on the spells. Then my pants. It's really more of a skirt than pants, but whatever. It's also providing damage reduction, some help on the hurricane front. It's got the basic skill, 20% damage reduction, which is important also, and damage reduction while fortified. I'm almost always fortified. Boots are giving me an increase in movement speed, more increase of armor while werewolf, damage reduction while injured, so if my health goes low, and provided I don't get one-shot killed, the damage done by enemies is dropped by 43%. And it's slightly helpful to have a dodge. I'm not a huge dodge user. The Ghost Walker part is important, so when I'm so-called unstoppable in the game, which is when the Earthen Bulwark is active, my speed increases and I can move through enemies, which is very important for dodging in real time. So, yeah, I'm uninstalling. So this is not bad for like just a little test. So this is really just a test. So And it's currently way too hard to do this. It's like took like hours to set this up. So we need to make it just effortless. Yeah. So anyway, the Ghostwalker sort of legendary imprint is very important here in the higher level dungeons, so that you don't get trapped by a bunch of monsters where they just pound the hell out of you. You can actually cast a Earthen Bulwark and move through them and sort of bounce around and hit them from the back. Then this weapon is really important. So if people play Diablo, you'll know this is a hard to find weapon, and it's awesome. Great Staff of the Crone, and it has on the high side of claw ranks. It's 9 ranks of claw, and does a bunch of damage. But like I said, the most important thing is that this it does a claw attack, which is a very fast attack. But that claw attack is simultaneously also a storm strike. Then on the necklace, so it'd be nice to have a necklace in real life that had all these things. It's remarkable that a necklace can do so much damage reduction. But it's doing overall damage reduction, reduction while fortified, increasing armor in werewolf form. So I'm actually much stronger in werewolf form than in human form. And importantly, 17% damage reduction from enemies that are poisoned. So both with my direct attack and with Poison Creeper, I'm going to be poisoning the enemies, thus dropping their damage by 17%. And then the really essential Nature's Fury, the symbiotic aspect, which when on a necklace gives you a 50% increase in what would normally be 5 seconds, but raises it to 8 seconds, so that helps reset the cooldown on Earthen Bulwark. On the ring, most important here is that the basic skill increase is get a 27% basic skill attack increase, because I'm using that basic skill again to reset my more powerful spells. Although the basic skill is actually pretty good with the Great Staff of the Crone, but for serious like boss fights, you really just want to use the basic skill to reset the cooldowns on your other spells. I'm using spell generically. It's called different things in the game. And then this is also increasing damage, so more damage to vulnerable enemies, damage if they're close, damage if they're crowd controlled, which means if you're able to slow them down or knock them back, and various things called crowd control. And then also you'll see also an amplified damage to poison enemies, since I'm going to be poisoning them pretty much all the time. And then the Ring of Natural Balance, which works well with Nature's Fury, which buffs up Storm if you cast a Earth spell, and buffs up Earth if you cast a Storm spell. So those are pretty nice, and they're at the upper end of the scale. So in Diablo, you've got like a range of what it can be. In this case, it's at the up end of the range. Took me ages to find this one. And then in terms of the gems, I've skulls to improve armor across here. I've got amethyst for damage reduction while fortified, so that's like adds up to about 9% increments there. And then damage reduction while control impaired. In the higher level dungeons, you're almost always control impaired, so meaning that they're doing things to you to slow you, chill you, daze you, knock you over, all sorts of other things, and you get, in this case, 20% damage reduction while that's happening. So, and then I got my sort of 2 fun pieces here, which is I don't use them for high level combat, but I can use them for lower level stuff. And these 2 actually, they're kind of fun. I could probably use them in this. I'll try using them in this dungeon actually. They allow me to move very fast, but they're not as damage resistant as the other ones, so I can like switch them out. And this makes my natural form werewolf, and I can also move really fast. So for spirit boons, what I got here is reduction from elites, increased attack speed. In this case, I've got critical strikes reduce the cooldown of my companion, which Poison Creeper is somehow a companion. Interesting pet to have. But since I'm going to be critical striking a lot, so this is basically saying I've got a 1 in 5 chance of resetting my Poison Creeper from a 20-second cooldown to immediately being able to use it. So if I'm doing a lot of attacks and you know, kind of critical strike 5 times, my Poison Creeper is going to reset. So in a heavy battle, this basically means I can spam Poison Creeper. And then a Fortify Bolster. In the high-level dungeons, Fortify drains fast, so you want to boost Fortify. And Fortify gives you 15% fortification for defensive skill, and both Cyclone Armor and Bulwark are considered defensive skills, even though I'm using them offensively. So when I cast my offensive skills, I get a fortification improvement, and then critical strikes with shapeshifting skills, which would Claw is a shapeshifting skill as well. So when I cast this, which I cast it very fast, you can see with my armor change, Claw is now level 14. I am constantly healing myself with critical strikes, as well as with Blood Howl. So, abilities, again, this is going to vary depending on what armor you've got on. Normally you can only take a skill up to level 5. In this case, with all the you know, enhancements I've got in the armor, it's actually rank 14 out of 5. So it does like a ridiculous amount of damage, even though it's a basic attack. And then just sort of speeding things up. So you're just looking for fast attack speed. I mean, this is like sort of a speedrunner build. Although I would not say I'm a skilled speedrunner. I can, yeah, clear a dungeon pretty fast for someone who doesn't do it a lot. So since it's dual use Storm Strike, it's getting the modifiers for Storm Strike, so it'll immobilize enemies and make them vulnerable. With the high level dungeons, you need to keep the monsters vulnerable all the time. It massively increases the amount of damage that you do, and the high level monsters are like basically tanks. Yeah, so some basic stuff. You're just looking to amplify your damage reduction as much as possible. So I'm using defensive skills all the time, so Vigilance is pretty much always there. So 15% damage reduction. You got Blood Howl here. Normally it'd be rank 1, but I have the I switched to Mad Wolf's Glee, which gives me 3 extra ranks of werewolf skills. Going through this pretty fast. This is going to seem like total, you know, ancient Greek to someone who's not played the game or doesn't look at a lot of video games, but I'm trying to speak to a wide range of audiences here. Yep, Poison Creeper, just rank 1. And as I said, this is really the important part of Poison Creeper, which is Brutal Poison Creeper, 20% increase in critical strike. Then here I've got Envenom, which increases critical strike damage by 60%. Also, critical strike will poison slightly. This is important for the poison effect. Poison also slows slightly, gives them the slow effect, which again amplifies damage. I've got Crushing Earth here, maxed out. So 15% damage increase. A little bit of fortification here. Stone Guard, also a 12% damage increase. Defiance, 12% damage to elites. And this, also buffs Earth and well, you can read it basically. And then this is actually pretty cool resonance. If you're casting Earth and Storm skills, which I'm constantly doing, one after the other results in an 18% damage increase. And then quick shift is not that important, but this is important. When you shape shift into a werewolf, again, another 12% damage reduction against elites. Elites are the ones that usually kill you. Now, the interesting thing here is I'm not actually using I'm not using an ultimate attack. So, ultimate attack would be Cataclysm, or Lacerate, or the most common one would be Grizzly Rage, or if you're and sometimes people will convert Grizzly Rage into a dire werewolf, but I'm not using that. I'm just using a key passive, which is Nature's Fury. You can do it either way, but I'm not saying this is the best build, but it is the build that I've got. And on the Paragon boards, got your basic board here, and then sort of the Thunderstruck board. I mostly want the Undaunted glyph here. So again, looking for damage reduction. For the high tier dungeons, just not being killed instantly is the goal. So you want really damage reduction. I think more than you even want attack capability. So I'm usually heavily fortified, so I get 10% damage reduction here. I won't go into like the gruesome details, but as you can see, Diablo 4 can be pretty complicated because you can have you pick from I think roughly eight boards, and you can rotate the boards. So depending on how you pick, what boards you pick, and how you rotate them and attach them, it's sort of like if you mix the game Go with Dungeons and Dragons. It's a bit like that. There's a lot of ways to combine these boards. But I'm mostly looking for, since this is configured for high tier dungeons, I'm mostly looking for damage reduction. So this is like a pretty important one here. Outmatch. So Outmatch is amplifying the armor from the rare node. The armor rare node is giving me an incremental 440 armor plus another 220. So armor, yeah, super important in this game. Then going out of here, Protector against 10% damage reduction while I have an active barrier. I usually have an active barrier, and it's increasing critical strike damage with Earth skills. Bulwark is my primary attack, and that's another skill. So it's also improving resistance to elements, but that's not that important. Nice to have. Critical strike with the Earth skills is pretty important. So let's over to finally get to Werewolf, and this is mostly this game. I actually care more about the damage reduction than I do about the attack capabilities. And I've got damage reduction from enemies that are poisoned. Goes back to Poison Creeper and my poison attack. So I'm looking to reduce the damage done by enemies as much as possible. So if you're dead, then the amount of damage you can do is very low. So I'm trying to be not dead for high-level dungeons. So this is only a mere level tier 69, so it's not really that hard. You can see I'm like moving really fast here with the werewolf. So these things show all of the various buffs, debuffs, and other effects that happen. Oh, I forgot to mention one thing that I think is pretty helpful is Ghost Walker's aspect on the boots. While you're in what the game calls unstoppable, and for 4 seconds thereafter, I gain movement speed. But most importantly, I can move freely through enemies. So in the higher levels, you get trapped in like a massive group of enemies, and they can sometimes pin you down, and you just can't get away, and they kill you. So Ghost Walker allows you to move through them, and bounce around, avoid the sort of power attack or ultimate attack of the monsters, and sort of basically dart dart behind them and hit them from behind. So that's actually a really important one. Yeah. So I'm just looking at the comments here. So the stream is delayed by some, I think, I don't know, 5 to 10 seconds. So I'll see the comments like a little later than they're made. Oh, it's dark. Yeah, it's kind of dark, I guess. Well. Anyway, this is the affixes matter on these dungeons quite a lot, so here I generally look at what the monsters can do. So non-boss monsters can regenerate life, and they take less damage from overpower. They have the suppressor affix, makes them harder to kill, and they deal incremental lightning damage. So I'll just zip through this real fast and. So I find it's pretty helpful to just bounce around, so that they'll be attacking the place that you used to be, as opposed to the place where you are. So you'll see like vulnerables popping a lot there. That's really important. But like I said, this is it's only level 69. Kind of hard to see what's going on. What the? Ah, come on! That was embarrassing, almost died. Alright. This is often in the high tier dungeons where it's often the hardest part, because they'll trap you in this room and you have to like try to not die while you're in this room. And try to avoid those lightning lances. Anyway. So now let's slay the vampire lords. So. Anyway, the general idea here is to, you know, if you want to stream on the X platform, you can. You can do it right now, actually. The user interface is kind of complicated. We want to make it easy. But you can use OBS. So if you're using OBS already, you can attach to X as a stream. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm using OBS. It's open source, so I think we can do a modified version of OBS and just kind of fork the code so it's easier to use for most people. Or if you want to use you know, full OBS, you can. But I think we just need to make it kind of like one click and and it just works. So. Yep. So I try to use the shrine, which shrines normally buff you, but a lot of the times on the nightmare dungeons, the shrines are actually just they're cursed. So you have to get attacked by demons when you try to use it, like these guys. And once you survive, you can use the shrine. Conduit Shrine. This is cool. You turn yourself into lightning. Some like a lightning ball. It's running around. Hey guys. And as you can see, my name is I Will Never Die. This is not true. I have died many times, but I think it's a funny name. And my title is Rampaging Goat. I mean, if you ever seen a goat in a rampage, it can be pretty tough. So I gotta find out the vampire. Actually, I can travel to the vault, so I'm gonna do that. Let's skip these guys and go over here. Where am I? There we go. So oddly enough, the boss fights in the nightmare dungeons are often the easiest part of the game. So I'm gonna take care of this guy real fast. It's a piece of cake, basically. Usually the elite fights right before this are much harder. So you can increase your glyph capabilities here. The glyphs go up to level 21. And I have Territorial at 21, and then I've got Outmatch, Werewolf, Undaunted, and Protector. The one I want to actually get to 21 is Outmatch, so I'm going to allocate the XP to that. The Outmatch one is amplifying my armor, so trying to get that to max level is going to be good for the higher level dungeons. Teleport back to town. Alright. And that was just a test of the system. And I'll do another test tomorrow. And do I don't know, maybe a level 99 or 100. Now level 9, you really need to be on your toes if it's like a 99, 100 level dungeon. Like the hardest, just for those who don't know anything about the game, there's 4 levels in Diablo. There's kind of like the sort of basic level, veteran, then nightmare, and then torment. The torment level is beyond nightmare. Within torment, there are nightmare tier dungeons, which go from level 1 to 100. So a level 100 dungeon in torment is that's really quite difficult, and you can't be like tired or tipsy or anything. Usually, it's like you're gonna die. I mean, any mistake in a nightmare 100 level dungeon, you're gonna die. So I just need to be not tired to do that. But I did complete a level 99 about a week ago, and then I did a tier 100 yesterday. So it's definitely doable. And I think I might be able to. It was kind of a struggle to do the tier 100. I refactored my Paragon board, so now it should be, I think, a little easier. And I'm sure there's like tons of mistakes in my Paragon boards, and I'm doing a bunch of dumb stuff. But yeah, nonetheless, I did clear tier 100. Perhaps not as elegantly as it could have been done, but so I'll do that tomorrow. Well, you'll basically see. I'll try it, and you can see I may fail. But it'll be hopefully entertaining either way. So, and the way we set it up is that the comments are that only subscribers can actually do comments. So I think for those who are doing streaming, gaming, and whatnot, I think one of the advantages is if you enable subscriptions in the X platform, then you can talk directly to your subscribers and kind of have a cool kind of discussion among, I don't know, people that subscribe to you or like you or whatever. This is like probably the biggest ad for Diablo ever, but whatever. It's a great game. And one of the nice things about Diablo is you can do a pickup game with friends very easily, even if they're, outside of the country or elsewhere in the world. You can do solo, and you can sort of go find a friend, and So I actually play with friends of mine, and we'll just do a quick pickup game, and it's just nice. Can you get to, like, hang out with friends and play a game at the same time? So it's cool. Yes, and subs only in comments is it's it's a nice perk if for subscribing. Um, and generally we're gonna enable more things like that, so it's pretty cool. Bone tag handles, yeah, exactly. Um, so all right, well, thanks everyone for popping in, and I hopefully I'll be able to do a tier 100 dungeon maybe tomorrow or the next day. I don't know, probably tomorrow night after work. So anyway, this is cool. It's a fun experience, and good work by the engineering team getting it all set up and cruising. Well, helping me set it up since OBS is a little hard to use. And we had this problem. We got us stuck for a while where I was sounding like a chipmunk. So it's because the voice sampling rate on OBS was different from the voice sampling rate on my PC. So I had like this high-pitched voice, which was pretty funny. But anyway, we fixed that. So, all right. So anyway, thanks guys. I'll see ya maybe tomorrow night or sometime soon. All right. I'll end the stream with that. Okay. That should work. You're in Austin? Great. Alright. Alright, so this is a test of X streaming and a test of Starlink. So I'm just going to do just a quick dungeon run with the Diablo. Try to answer any questions people have that show up on the chat. So I just have my main screen here, and I've got an iPad set up for chat. And I think we've made a lot of improvements, so we'll see how it goes. So what I'm trying to do right now is clear a tier 112 pit solo, which I think would put me in the top 20 Diablo Druid players, for now at least. So, I'm going to have to reposition the iPad. I cannot look at the iPad and the game. I'm using Streamlabs right now. So you can use OBS or Streamlabs. And you can stream simultaneously to the X platform and to Twitch. So if you're streaming to Twitch, you might as well stream to X too. The reach on the X platform is hard to beat. So this is quite tricky to look at. Look at the chat. Kind of need the chat on the screen, I guess. Yeah. Trying not to die while looking at the chat. This is pretty tough for this level. But yeah, you can use OBS or Streamlabs or whatever you like. Streamlabs is a little easier to set up, but it'll work with pretty much any streaming software. And this is all on Starlink, so this is a good test for Starlink as well. So this is all coming in over satellite. Yep, this is Starlink. So we've gotten the median latency of Starlink down to around 30 milliseconds in the US. So you should be able to play most real-time games. I mean, it's rough. It's about equal to cable. And I think long term, like in the next, I don't know, year or two, we should be able to get the Starlink latency below 20 milliseconds. There. But yeah, Starlink seems to be doing pretty well. No packet loss, and no noticeable latency so far in the game. So weirdly, I find like killing demons in a dungeon to be relaxing. It's forces you to concentrate, and I don't know. It's kind of get into a groove, even though it's kind of weird, really, relaxing by killing demons in a dungeon. And what are these demons doing here anyway? Just waiting around. Well. So the way this works is you got to kill enough demons to summon the final boss. And you see the timer on the right there. If you take too long to kill him, you will not be able to summon the boss and kill the boss. I have not played RuneScape.
I I played Counter-Strike a long time ago. And a really long time ago, I was one of the world's best players of Quake. That's an eon ago. And I think it was like the first esports tournament in the US, or they claimed it was. And we came second in that tournament. I think it was in like 96 or 97. So I do like first-person shooters too. Elden Ring is an amazing game. It's a work of art. I actually think Elden Ring might be the best art that I've seen in real life or in a video game in any form. Elden Ring's amazing. Exquisite. I look forward to playing the DLC. It's coming out soon. I had a hot dog for lunch. And I took my kids to see the Monster Jam monster truck at the Austin Arena. That's where I was earlier today. Just my kids love monster truck next level. Well, my favorite games, man, I played so many video games. Elden Ring would be way up there. BioShock, Saints Row 4, Half-Life 2, obviously Quake. Dead Space is I think quite a good game. Like Dead Space and Dead Space 2. The Dead Space remake was really good. Halo Infinite was good too. Enjoyed playing that. I love video games, obviously. Watch those red things in the ground. Will kill me. So I don't have time for games. So games are, but my two sort of non-work things that I do are hang out with my kids and play, and the other thing is play video games. And then when the kids get to the right age, you can play video games with your kids, which is awesome. Played a lot of Mass Effect 3 with co-op mode with my kids. That was pretty fun. Nice. Where'd he go? Oh! Blasted. I probably won't have enough time to get. No, I'm not gonna have enough time to kill this guy. Yeah. Alright, definitely need chat on the screen. If I look at the chat, I die. Yeah, pretty excited about the Starship Launch 4. That was great. I think that was sort of like a 20% lucky outcome, because both the booster had a soft landing and the ship had a soft landing in the ocean. So we got a lot of great data, and unless something comes up that we think is problematic, we'll try to bring the booster back and catch it with the giant Mechazilla arms. And we definitely want a rocket to reach Uranus. That's it's a stretch goal to reach Uranus, but definitely something we think we should aim for. Yeah, the catch. The tower is actually taller than Mechazilla from the movie, so giant Mechazilla arms will catch this, aspirationally catch this gigantic rocket. It's going to boost back. I mean, like, excitement is guaranteed. Success, not necessarily, but it won't be boring. So that's going to be an epic sight. Giant robot arms catch giant rocket. Starship is the largest flying object of any kind. It's 5,000 tons at liftoff. Body diameter is 9 meters, or roughly 30 feet. And it's going to get taller with newer versions. So it's an insanely gigantic thing. When we first started figuring out the Starship design, it seemed utterly insane. And now it's gone from utterly insane to merely late. Next launch, hopefully. Next launch, Starship launch is probably in about a month. We have to take. We're gonna replace the whole heat shield on the ship. So the new heat shield tile is about twice as strong as the ones that were on the last flight. So and we want to put an ablative secondary structure, like basically ablative protection behind the tiles, so that if a tile cracks or comes loose, it doesn't cook the rocket. It's pretty incredible that the rocket, that the ship made it all the way to the ocean, despite the right front flap getting cooked very hard. It was kind of like a skeleton hand. But I made it. But on the next flight, we want to not have the tiles fly off and have a skeleton flap. So the new tiles will, like I said, about twice as strong, or hopefully half as likely to crack or come off. And we're gonna put like I said, a secondary ablative material below the tiles, so that if a tile does crack or come off, it's got a good shot of returning. We ran 2 experiments with tiles on this flight, which people may have noticed, because they saw why there's some missing tiles on this last flight. They were intentionally missing because we were testing the secondary heat shield material, which is like a silicone felt ablative. It's not good for reuse, but it's good for saving your butt if a tile cracks or falls off. Very tricky to put these tiles, have them work well, because the tiles are ceramics. They're like a coffee cup or a dinner plate. So you got a whole bunch of dinner plates stuck on the side of a rocket that is shaking like hell. And it's shrinking cryogenically with the propellant, and then expanding under pressure, and then you've got the tiles expanding when they get hot. So there's a lot of expansion and contraction happening while trying to keep all these brittle tiles from cracking or falling off. It's a tricky problem. No one has ever actually succeeded in making a reusable orbital heat shield. The shuttle heat shield took, I think, 9 months, 1,000 people, a massive amount of work between flights. So I wouldn't characterize that as reusable in a meaningful way. And we're aiming for full reusability. So the ship comes back, gets caught by the Mechazilla arms, and is then placed back on top of a booster for immediate reflight. That's the goal. I don't know why the plasma was purple. I always like pretty much every color. Now, we were burning things, so probably I don't think all those colors should be there if we're not burning things. But it's still going to be quite the light show. And what you're seeing with the Starship coming back in is just exactly what the camera sees. So there's no post-production, there's no editing, nothing. That is the live stream from the camera. It's what you would see if you looked out the window. It does look awesome. So yeah, I'm pretty fired up actually. I was really walking on clouds after the Starship launch. SpaceX team did an amazing job, and we're really doing things that have never been done before. So the key to making life multiplanetary and being a true spacefaring civilization is full and rapid reusability, so that you don't have to get a new rocket every time you want to fly somewhere. Now, we live on a planet where the gravity is, Earth's gravity is high, and we have a dense atmosphere. So if this was a video game, it would be set on extreme difficulty. So, like, it's very extremely difficult, but not impossible. So I'm confident it will work. Just a question of how many attempts we need to make it work, and then make it work really well. And then for building a city on Mars, you need thousands of ships, because you can only go to Mars every 26 months. So Earth and Mars are the planets basically align every 2 years. And you've got a short window of a couple months to launch from Earth. So you need thousands of ships if you're going to build a city. And then the ships can only come back, best case, every 2 years, but realistically, more like every 3 or 4. So, in order to build a city on Mars, let's say if you're aiming for a million, whatever's. I'm not sure what the right number is for being self-sustaining, but I think it's maybe on the order of 1 million people, and maybe 10 million tons of cargo to build up the infrastructure necessary to be self-sustaining. The critical threshold to pass, which some people would call it like the Fermi filter, sort of after Enrico Fermi. That threshold is get Mars to the point where if the ships from Earth stop coming for any reason, that the Mars city does not die out. So you could have everything except for one little thing that you're missing, and then if those resupply ships stop coming, game over. So we need to get to the point where Mars can survive even if those ships stop coming, whether civilization ends with a bang or a whimper. That's the purpose of SpaceX. Make life multiplanetary. To make life multiplanetary, the probable lifespan of civilization is dramatically greater, and we can go from eventually from the solar system to other star systems and maybe discover many long dead alien civilizations. I think it'd be very exciting. How long till we get the first city on Mars? So we're trying to speed run Mars. Speed run making Mars self-sustaining. That's the goal. So can we make Mars self-sustaining while civilization has a high enough tech level to keep sending ships to Mars? That's what it comes down to. I think it can be done in 20 to 30 years. If you have an exponential increase in ships going, it's 20 years. But I tend to be optimistic about time, so maybe it's 30 years. Hopefully not 40 years. Yeah. And we'll do the moon too. So the moon will do the moon along the way. The moon's basically in the backyard compared to Mars. But Mars is obviously Mars is a real planet, and has a lot more resources than the moon. And it's much more likely that if something were to happen to Earth, Mars is more likely to survive than a moon city, because you can shoot a moon base from Earth. It's very hard to shoot a Mars base from Earth. So Mars is more likely to survive than the moon if there's some global thermonuclear war. Like Stephen Hawking, his estimate when I talked to him many years ago was that he thought there's like roughly a 1% chance of civilization ending in any given century. So, and it's wild to think that Earth has been around for 4.5 billion years, and this is the first time in 4.5 billion years that it has been possible to extend life beyond Earth. That window may be open for a long time or a short time, but I think we should assume, to be safe, that it will only be open for a short time. So we gotta hustle. What do I think of 3D printing? So SpaceX, I think, has the most advanced 3D metal printing capabilities in the world. If there's someone more advanced, we just don't know who they are, but I'm pretty confident we've got the most advanced 3D metal printing. The many of the Raptor engine parts are 3D metal printed. Now, I don't recommend trying to print the whole rocket. That's you'd need a ridiculously gigantic printer for that. And metal printing consists of millions of metal dust and millions of laser welds. So I don't think it makes sense to try to print the primary structure. And even for the Raptor rocket parts, 3D metal printing is slow and expensive compared to casting or machining. So it's debatable, actually. We actually want to print fewer things, not more things. If you have a part that has complex geometry with a lot of internal flow circuits, that's something that's very difficult to cast, like a turbo pump housing. That's where printing is potentially the winner. But generally, I try to print the least amount of stuff possible. So yeah, for anyone that's just joining, this is a test of X streaming and a test of Starlink. So this connection is over Starlink. So these are photons flying through space, then back to the ground, and then to you. Add avoid highways option to test the navigation. All right, sure. Am I going to do a hardcore character? I actually did several hardcore characters, and they're all sitting in a graveyard. So, I like to try to push the really difficult levels. If you play a hardcore character is if you die, you die, and that's it. Makes it difficult to push the really high levels because you're gonna die if you push really high levels. I always throw in the candle for a little atmospheric effect. It seems appropriate for Diablo. Yeah, maybe Grok could clip highlights as you play. Yeah, I'll stream Elden Ring when that comes out. Amazing game. Like I said earlier, Elden Ring is one of the most exquisite pieces of art ever created in any realm. It's stunning just to look at Elden Ring. And boring machines, yeah, we'll have boring machines on the moon and Mars. I mean, anything that can be underground, you want it to be underground, because shielded from radiation, it's insulated from temperature changes. So there's going to be probably a lot of hobbit holes on Mars and the moon. Yeah, mosquitoes. We managed to actually tackle the mosquitoes for parts of Starbase, but man, mosquitoes they're a difficult beast to battle. And yeah, you'll be able to play video games with Neuralink. You may have seen Nolan, who's the first Neuralink patient. After he got the Neuralink, he spent all night playing Civilization, which is awesome. That's exactly what I'd do if I were him. Yeah, Proofrock will make habitats. Yeah, and you can bring your dogs to Mars. What's the painting above? That is an old Apollo painting. There will probably be a lot of Optimus bots on Mars. you don't need to terraform Mars to make it self-sustaining. Over time, you could terraform Mars and make it be like Earth, but that'll take a while, even if you take the fast path. So I think the right move is to get the city on Mars to be self-sustaining as quickly as possible, so as to secure the long-term future of consciousness and life as we know it, and thereafter work on terraforming. First SpaceX flight to Mars. I think within 3 years, I think we'll launch the first Starship to Mars in less than 3 years, and things will really go exponential from there. So, send a few ships on the first Mars rendezvous, which is Earth and Mars align every 2 years. So send a few ships first time, maybe 3. Confirm that they can land well, and then crank it up from there. Then go to, I don't know, 20 or 30 ships in the second rendezvous, 100 on the third, and try to get to 1,000 ships going to Mars every rendezvous, so every 2 years, as quickly as possible. I have not played the Terraforming Mars board game, but it sounds like something that would appeal to me. And yeah, you can terraform Mars while people are there. Terraforming Mars mostly consists of warming it up, which you can do with solar reflectors in orbit, or just a lot of thermonuclear explosions. And yeah, we'll send Starlink satellites to Mars too, so Mars will have great internet. Now, Mars is anywhere from 4 to roughly 20 light minutes away, so you won't be able to do anything real time on Mars, but texting, emails, and whatnot will work, and you could synchronize the internet, the internet on Mars. It'll just be with a 4 to 20 minute delay. We're still waiting for Starlink approval in Turkey, so I don't know what the timing on that is. But we're now at, I think 100. Starlink is now approved in 100 countries in the world. Fish license. We do need a fish license. That's the great Monty Python sketch. And you could terraform Mars. Depends on how adventurous you want to be for terraforming Mars. If you really want to go super fast, I don't know, maybe you could do it in less than 100 years. And not everyone needs to go to Mars. Obviously, there's figure out of the 8 billion people on Earth, maybe 1 million might want to go. So it's not going to be a luxury destination, not for a very long time. So, the sales pitch for Mars would be kind of like the apocryphal Shackleton ad, which is it's dangerous, cramped, uncomfortable, a tough life, some chance you'll die. Who's in? So, yeah, Mars will be tough sledding for a while. But like I said, important for ensuring long-term survival of consciousness. So there's at least some number of people that are willing to go on a dangerous expedition in cramped conditions in a relatively tiny metal can. It'll be a fun adventure. If you live. Yeah. I've been asked a number of times, do I want to die on Mars? I'm like, well, I do want, you know, I'm gonna die somewhere. Sure, why not die on Mars? I just don't want to die on impact. I'll give 112 another try. And there's no age limit. You can go to Mars if you're young or old. And I am an optimist. that description of going to Mars, that was the optimistic version. I love you guys too. So, we do live in the most interesting of times. Like, I wouldn't want to be alive if it said you could go live in any other time. I would pick now. Oh, yeah, Grok's coming to Tesla. So you'll be able to access Grok through your Tesla. And you'll just be able to ask it to do whatever you want. You could ask your car to go pick up a friend or anything. If you can think of it, the car will be able to do it. $9.75. This room does have a window, but the curtains are closed. I'm in Austin right now. Yeah, you'll be able to ask your Tesla to go pick up groceries. Pretty much anything. Optimus is really going to be next level. And you'll be able to probably, like, you know, skin Optimus in a wide, you know, pretty much with anything. So people on the internet have asked me to make catgirls real, and actually you can make catgirls real if you have a robot. You have a robot catgirl. Yeah, Optimus will be able to pick up the kids from school, and Optimus will be able to be school if you want. We'll be able to teach kids anything. Yeah, it'll support any language too. I think AGI will be next year. Probably. It's not next year, it's not much long. It's, let's say 2026 at the latest for AGI. At the latest. I hope it's nice to us. So, one defines AGI as smarter than any human. I think we're less than 24 months away from that. So, yeah, please be nice to us, AGI. Oh. Forget for looking. Trying to do too many things at once. That's the robot puppy. Could make one. What really matters is a humanoid robot, though. Humanoid robots will usher in a level of abundance that is hard to imagine. There will be no shortage of goods and services. And probably the best sci-fi book that imagines the future is, books, other culture books by Ian Banks. I'd recommend reading the culture books. Yeah, Optimus can be your bodyguard. Yeah, people will have Optimus in their home. I think probably everyone's gonna have an Optimus. Maybe more than one. The price of Optimus. Optimus will be. I mean, ultimately, I think Optimus is probably like $20,000 or something like that, maybe 30. And volume production, Optimus. The parts in Optimus will cost less than a car. So I think probably long term is probably $20,000-$30,000. I think future wars between major powers will be drone wars. Drones don't miss. I don't think you want to have people fighting drones, that's for sure. Ah! Lost it. Oh well. I mean, long term, I think there'll be more. The ratio of humanoid robots will be more than 1-to-1. So there might be 2 humanoid robots or more, maybe 10, for every 1 human, which means, I mean, well in excess of 10 billion humanoid robots. So this is a pretty tough level. So the way that Diablo 4 works is you go up to like level 100, you complete the quest, then after all the quest line stuff, there are nightmare dungeons. The nightmare dungeons go up to 100, and then after the Nightmare 100 dungeons, you really have the what's called the pit, which I'm in the pit right now. And the pit goes up to tier 200. I've cleared everything up to tier 112, so I'm trying to clear a 112 pit with my druid character. And this season, druid is the weakest character, so the highest level pit clear that I'm aware of is, as a solo, is 140, tier 140. I think that's Makuna did that, and he's a sorcerer. And I think the highest druid clear is 121. And if I clear 112, at least for now, that would put me in the top 20 druid players in the world. And not bad for an old guy.
See some steel you need?
Add a bit more willpower.
I forge more than horseshoes and nails. What do you need?
Back into the pit. Optimus will probably be able to run the pit. I think this is a Samsung monitor. It's cool. It's kind of like it's curved in the middle and flat on the sides, and it's kind of like VR really. Very immersive monitor. See. Oops, shoot. I think Diablo and Elden Ring are both great. Elden Ring's an amazing single-player game, more like adventure. Diablo is just good to kind of like, I don't know. You can dial up the difficulty to where it's hard enough that if you don't pay close attention, you die, like I just died. And the hardest video game I've ever played, and I've played a lot of video games, was the Diablo Abattoir of Zir, which was in Season 2. Or Abattoir of Zir basically means the zenith of slaughter. And
I'll keep my forge hot. Return soon.
I kind of got OCD on AOZ. At one point, as part of a 4-person team, I had the world record clear for Tier 25 Abattoir of Zir. Although admittedly being carried by some really ace players. Yeah, I played a lot of Quake back in the day. I was, a long time ago, one of the world's best Quake players. I mentioned earlier, there was the first paid esports tournament in the US. I think it was in like, well, at least I was told it was, in 96 or 97. And we came second in that tournament. It would have come first, except the best guy on our team, his computer crashed halfway through the game.
Greetings.
Do I feel like broken record? Yeah. I do say the same thing a lot because not everyone's heard it. Hello, Mr. Zoo.
Good evening.
This is my online friend, Mr. Petting Zoo.
Looks like the stream's going great.
As the name suggests, Petting Zoo is trying to optimize the pets build. So we've gotten kind of crazy high with the pets. Well, you cleared like 110 or something like that?
Yep, I've done 110 without holy bolts, and haven't really been pushing much, but I had 4 minutes left on the clock, so there's room to expand.
Cool. I was able to clear 111, and I'm just being bashed in my head against 112.
Oh, that old familiar feeling.
Yeah.
111 is great.
111, yeah. Not bad for a, old guy.
Let alone a druid.
Yeah, exactly. Old druid. Let's see. You want to try? 112?
Sure.
All right.
Let's see.
Yeah, we definitely need to create the Texas Institute of Technology and Science. I mean, that place will pay for itself on merch alone.
That place is tits.
Well, I think it'll be a fun place to learn.
Clump everyone up for you, so that should be a pretty good combo.
Yeah. Actually, I suspect we might be able to clear this.
I think so. If I can dodge all that shit the boss throws at me, and not die 1,000 times. I still have the same issue I had in AOC, standing with explosions. All that.
It seems like the probability of clearing the pit is massively dependent on what bus you get at the end.
It really is.
All we want is a nice bus. Is that too much to ask?
I was hoping they would adjust their health. It sounds like maybe just their movesets are different, so they're just still gigantic sponges.
Yeah. I mean, it does feel like I'm shooting with a pea shooter or something. It's like I'm trying to kill a boss, this giant boss with a spitballs.
Oh yeah, why am I fighting that guy?
Wow.
Might be able to go slightly more glass cannon than wearing some tanky stuff, but with all of your crowd control, fairly safe.
Crowd control. It's a real crowd pleaser. I do feel like are we basically like pest control for dungeons? Do you have demons in your dungeon? No problem. Call us. We'll clean them out. Call us for a demon-free dungeon.
Good dungeon squad. Dungeon.
Yeah, it's like Ghostbusters.
Access to the cellar and midnight.
Yeah. Well, this is sure way easier with a friend.